Hi, welcome. I am Jessica, and this is a practice for the days when you haven't slept well. And I think this is important because I think at some level or another, everyone struggles with sleep, right? I know I do. And on the days when I feel sleep deprived, sometimes I just need a practice that will ease me into things. And sometimes that helps energize me and gets me through the day. And other times it's just exactly what I need as it is. So, whatever it is for you, I invite you to just take this at your own pace, okay? We are going to find our seat nice and tall. I am sitting on a block. You could be sitting on a blanket, or you might be comfortable without any props, but we'll begin in a seat, all right? Take a big breath in and a full breath out. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers, flip the palms, sit up nice and tall, keep reaching up. And then on your exhale, take your right hand down to the ground, left arm up and over, just a really simple little side bend here. Cycle of breath here. Good. Inhale, come through center, and just pause there. Feel the symmetry of both arms reaching up, both sideways equally long. And then exhale, up and over. Second side, whatever side you didn't already do. And then breathe into the side of the rib cage that is lengthening. Yeah, good. One more exhale. And inhale, come back up. Take your arms out in front of you now. We'll interlace those fingers, flip the palms, reach away. Really good inhale. And then exhale, let that go. Take a twist to your right. Okay, just really simple little twist. You don't have to overdo, okay? Gaze can be neutral, or it might come a little bit behind you. Take a round of breath. Nice. Inhale, come through center, pause. And then exhale, second side. Easy does it, twist. Just feel the rib cage turning. Allow the pelvis to follow with the twist. And then again, notice where the head feels just right. Is it just keeping that gaze neutral, or is it maybe looking a little bit behind you? One isn't better than the other. We'll just see what feels just right for today. One more cycle of breath. Good. All right. Inhale, come through center. And then we're going to transition to a child's pose. Okay. In terms of props, I do have 2 blocks here and a bolster, but if you don't have those things, no biggie. Okay. If you can take the knees wide, big toes together, we'll find that and reach the arms overhead for a child's pose. If you feel better with the knees closer to one another, that's perfectly fine. Reach the arms away and maybe allow the third eye to connect with the mat. And we'll take about 2 rounds of breath here, breathing into the back body. So feel that you can fill up the back of the rib cage, the kidney band. You might feel that you can send breath all the way down into that sacrum area. Another cycle of breath. Good. All right, when you're ready, use an inhale to come up. And we'll find a table posture with those knees about underneath the hips, wrists under the shoulders, or maybe a little bit ahead of the shoulders. So feel what feels most stable to you today. And on an inhale, we'll find our back bend. So pull the chest in between the arms, lift the tail, and then we're going to pause here for the exhale. And on your inhale, push into the hands, round into the cat back. Again, we'll pause for the exhale. Lift and dome the upper back. Let's do a few more like that. Inhale to the back bend, belly softens down, chest pulls in between the arms. We'll pause for the exhale. And then inhale, push and round into the cat back. Navel gives a little lift. Tail curls under, crown of head points down. Find one more round on your own, okay? You don't have to be with me and my timing just perfectly. One more cat back. Good. Inhale to that neutral spine again. And then we'll slide the left leg straight back on the mat. We'll leave the toes there. And then if it feels good to find maybe a little bit of rock here, you might rock that heel back and forward. Opening up the bottom of the foot, Achilles, calf muscles. Let's take a few rounds like that. One more cycle of breath. Good. Go ahead and release that. And second side. Stretch the leg back. Make that leg really straight. Find the ball mounds of that foot. And then just that gentle rock. Notice what's waking up, what's opening up maybe. Notice how this second side is different from the first side, isn't it? About 2 more rounds of breath here. Nice. Go ahead and release that. Another round of the cat and cow. Inhale to lift the chest. And exhale, we round. Good. Inhale to a neutral spine. And then exhale, curl the toes under and send the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. I recommend going maybe wider with the feet than the hips in this first dog. And then add some movement. So you're just kind of pedaling out the feet. Yeah. Let one knee bend while the opposite heel melts down, just like you're bicycling the legs. Yeah, let the head hang and push the hands actively away. Okay. Side waist is nice and long. Hips go up and back, thigh bones press back. Take a really good inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, shift forward to a plank. Exhale, lower the knees and stretch the hips back to a child's. And this time, if you want to keep those toes curled under, you might. If that's too much sensation on the feet, then untuck the toes, okay? So just a gentle vinyasa here. Inhale, come up to the table posture. And exhale back to the downward facing dog. Head just hangs. Take a breath in and a breath out. Good. Inhale, shift forward to that plank again. Exhale, lower the knees, hips back to the heels for that child's pose. Again, toes can be tucked or untucked. Cycle of breath, reach the arms actively. Good. Inhale, rise, table posture. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Feel the hands, feel all 10 knuckle pads, make sure you're pressing those away. And then find the ball mounds of the big toes, give those some more juice. Take a big breath in, full breath out. Good. On your inhale, let's slowly walk our hands back to our feet and find a really soft forward fold, Uttanasana at the back of the mat. I'm going to invite you to bend your knees as much as you need to. Allow the pelvis to hinge over the thigh bones and the head just hangs. Okay. And invite some movement. You might rock back and forth in the feet. You might take a deep knee bend. Okay. And just a few rounds of breath here, maybe a little sway. You might grab opposite elbows. But again, head just drops. Yeah. 2 more rounds of breath. Feel the weightiness of the feet. Start to connect to the 4 corners of the feet. Good. Let's inhale to a half lift. Lengthen the spine forward through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold. And let's walk out. Find a plank pose. Once you get to that plank, just take a good breath in. We're not here long. Exhale, lower the knees. Bend the elbows and lower all the way. Point your toes back. Get a sense that you can press all 10 toenails into the earth. Hands about underneath the elbows. And then inhale, pull your chest more forward than up. Just a little cobra. And exhale, lengthen down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Hands stay on the mat. Inhale, lift your chest. Give a little pull back with the hands. And exhale, lower. 1 more time. Inhale to that cobra. Hands pull back. And exhale, lower. Nice. Inhale, hands and knees. And exhale, downward facing dog.
Smooth breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, the right leg floats up and back. Exhale to step it in between your hands. Let your back knee come down. And this is where blocks might be helpful. They might come to the opposite sides of that front ankle bone. But we're going to keep our hands down, either on the blocks or on the mat. And allow the top sternum to pull forward as you just let both sides of the pelvis soften down. Okay, we're going to linger in this lunge just for a few rounds of breath. You might feel an opening on the left side of the pelvis, left hip. Yeah. And then just start to ground your right foot down. Yeah. If you need to pad the back knee, if that kneecap is tender, please go ahead and do that. And then take your time, walk your hands up to the top of your right thigh. Good. And you're welcome to keep your hands on your right thigh, but we're gonna pull the hips back so we're more upright, and then we'll let them soften forward. We'll just do that a few times with the breath. Inhale, and then exhale, let them soften. Do that 2 more times on your own, just nice and easy. We're just slowly easing into the body. Good. Next time you come up, maybe raise and reach the arms. Really good. Inhale. On your exhale, hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Draw the knuckles down. Roll the shoulder heads back. And about 2 rounds of breath here. 1 more inhale. Nice. Exhale, hands down. I'm going to keep my left hand on a block here, right underneath the left shoulder. Straighten the back leg. Right arm goes out and up for a twist. Now you might like to keep that left knee down. If that's the case, feel free. We're just turning the chest to the right. Both collarbones are widening. Take 1 more good cycle of breath. Good. Exhale, hand comes down, blocks out of the way if you used them, and step back to downward facing dog. Feel the hands, feel the feet, connect with what is on the earth, and take a big breath in. Complete breath out. Let's try the second side of that. Inhale, left leg floats, and exhale to step it through. Again, the back knee will release down. If you're using the blocks, you'll bring them online. And first, even though we're pulling the top sternum forward, we'll let both sides of the pelvis just soften down. Couple rounds of breath here. Really ground your left foot through that heel. And another cycle of breath. Remember, if you need to pad the back knee, the right knee, go ahead and do that. And then we'll take our time to walk our hands up to the left thigh bone. If you need to shorten your stance, if you're a little unstable, just get it as short as you like. We'll leave the hands on the left thigh for now. And just gently let the hips glide forward. You're a little bit lower in that lunge. And then we'll lift back, get a little bit more upright. We're going to do that several times. Exhale, we lengthen forward. And then inhale, come upright. A couple times on your own. Just a gentle glide here. Notice what wakes up, where your sensation is. And the next time you come upright, we'll stay there. Raise and reach the arms. Good. Inhale. Exhale, hands behind you. Interlace the fingers the opposite way that you did the time before. Roll the shoulders on the back. And for some of you, keeping a bend in the elbows here is going to feel better, so feel free to do that. And then just feel the lift and widening of the chest. 1 more cycle of breath. Nice. Inhale, raise and reach the arms. Exhale, hands down. I'm going to leave my left hand on a block. At what height you put it at, you play with it, okay? I have mine on the lowest height. Go ahead and curl your toes under, straighten the back leg, left arm out and up. Just a simple lunging twist. And again, if you prefer to have this back knee on the mat, you could totally do that. I find that I get more length through the spine when that back leg is lifted, but you feel into what it is for you. Another cycle of breath. Nice. All right. Inhale, left hand down. Blocks out of the way if you used them. And exhale, downward facing dog. Connect with the knuckle pads on the bottoms of your hands, and then connect with the ball mounds on your feet. Base of big toe especially. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale forward, find that plank. Exhale, lower all the way. You could release the knees first if that feels better. Let's take a locust pose. Hands go long beside you, palms face down. Inhale, lift everything up. Head, chest, arms, and legs float. One more inhale. And exhale, let that go. Inhale, come up to table posture. Wrists about underneath the shoulders and knees about underneath the hips. We'll find a little thread the needle here. So right arm is going to thread underneath the left arm. And you can come down to the outside edge of the right side of your skull. If you need to put your head on a block, you could totally do that. And then you can stay here, or if you want to turn the twist into a little bit more, you're going to take that bottom hand up and then make a ball with your top hand and push those two together. So you're just spiraling the chest open toward the left. Another cycle of breath, maybe two. Good. And then gently let that go. Left hand will ground. We'll undo it. Maybe take the right arm up to the ceiling and take a few turns with the wrist. Good. Float that down. And if you need a round of cat and cow, or you want to stretch it back to a child's pose, go ahead and do that. Good. All right. We'll set up the second side of that. Left arm will reach underneath. Okay. So you're on the left side of the skull this time. And again, you can keep that twist exactly as it is, or you take the right hand up like you're kind of making a catcher's mitt with the right hand, the left hand, and then the right hand you make a ball and you press those two together, and that'll just give you a little bit more leverage in the twist. And if for some reason that leverage does not feel good, then you don't do it. So more isn't always better. Another cycle or two of breath. And then when you're ready, the right hand will ground again, and the left arm will unwind. You'll take it up, inhale, and exhale, let it go. Good. Okay, options. Stretch back to a child's pose or a final downward facing dog. Either way, feel the length of the spine. And then connect to what is on the earth. Feel that be your ground. Cycle of breath. Big breath in. And a full breath out. Good. All right. If you're in the down dog, go ahead and release that. And then we're going to make our way to our backs. Okay, so just go ahead and roll on down. And I have a bolster close by, so if you do have one close by, great. If you don't, no big deal. Roll on down. We'll draw the knees into the chest, give them a really good squeeze. Now this is the part of the practice where you might like to really linger with certain poses, so feel free to stay longer in some of these places than I'm suggesting. So like always, you're in charge of your practice. We'll keep the right knee hugging in, left leg goes long. And just take a round of breath there. Let the left leg be soft, hugging right knee in. And then maybe bring your hands to the back of your thigh. Nice and easy, straighten right leg and then rebend. A couple times like that. Just let it be really easy. Doesn't matter whether the right leg straightens all the way, okay? Good. All right, next time the knee is bent, we'll take the knee across the body. And if you need a prop underneath that knee that's floating, feel free. I have taken my right arm overhead, but you might like to take it out to the side if you have room. You could take it into a cactus arm. You might try all three and see what feels best to you. Try to lengthen your right hip away from your right shoulder and make a little bit more space on the right side of the rib cage. One more round of breath. Good. Inhale, come back to center, knee hugs in, and then both knees into the chest. You might like a happy baby here. You might just kind of like to make some circles on the sacrum. But eventually we'll have just the left knee hugging in, right leg goes long. We'll pause with that. First, just notice how this second side might feel a bit different from the first side. Let the right leg be soft. Hands to the back of the thigh, and then just that gentle straighten and bend of that left leg. Remember, it doesn't matter whether the knee straightens all the way or not. Just kind of go to where you feel a little bit of sensation with that stretch. Good. Next time you bend, we will find that twist. And then see what's just right with that left arm. Is it overhead? Is it out to the side? Is it in a cactus formation? And it's not right or wrong. One isn't more advanced than the other. It's just what feels just right to you today. And then feeling the body from within. Hold this side of the twist for as long as you need to feel really balanced from left to right. I'm going to give it another breath or so. And then inhaling, coming back to center. And then just pause somewhere that feels really neutral and symmetrical. I've got my legs in constructive rest. So knees bent in together, feet are wide. Send the arms up to the ceiling, inhale. And exhale, cross your arms over the chest and then just let them be heavy over your chest. Take a few rounds of breath here. Letting the inner groin soften and allowing the arms to be heavy. And I just want you to take notice of which arm is on top with your cross. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, opposite cross with the arms. Again, once you have them crossed, let them be totally heavy on the chest and notice the feedback you get with your hands being on your rib cage. Follow a few rounds of breath. Now you might like to stay here with your arms and legs in constructive rest. If that's the case, stay here for as long as you'd like. The final pose I will offer is to simply grab your bolster and put it underneath your knees. And if you know Stonehenge, you might put this bolster on blocks to give yourself a little bit more height. But we'll find ourselves here with those knees supported by that bolster or anything that can act as a bolster. And I will invite you to stay here for as long as you have time for. Give yourself at least a couple of minutes. And you might find that at the end of this practice, you feel ready to perhaps do a little bit more movement in any capacity. And you might find that
if you've really slept poorly, that this is all you need. So allow that to be just the thing. If that's right for you today, you're in charge, and please take care of yourself. If you found this practice helpful, love to hear from you. And if you think someone else can benefit from it, please feel free to share it. Thank you so much for practicing with me. From my heart to yours, namaste.